boot camp, it was, I think it was 16 weeks, something like that.
Okay.
Then went to Camp Pendleton for about 6 weeks.
Was that for your training or was that for?
That's combat training.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Korean War was going on then. And when I went to take my physical, well, they said, skip you, because you're a Marine Corps, just cannon fodder, you'll last about 90 days, that'd be it. Make you feel good.
Yeah. You're just a bullet sponge.
Right.
A bullet sponge.
Yep.
Just cannon fodder. Yeah.
How long, where was your school at?
My school.
For your job? Did you just learn on the job training? So like I went to Maryland.
No, they had classes there.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, when I went in, they gave you a test and to see what you're qualified for. And kind of find out I had to go back and have more tests, and that I was qualified to anything the Marine Corps had. And,
He was that smart.
So in the outfit I went into, you had to have an IQ of 120 or higher to be in it. And we had college professors and everything in there. Back then, anybody between the ages of 18 and 26 had to have military service, so they drafted them.
Okay.
Volunteer. So we'd probably highest rated educated people in the Marine Corps at that time.
That's what I'm thinking about.
We knew he was smart. It's confirmed how smart he is.
Yeah, we had guys in there with an IQ of 160.
Wow.
Now, did Kenny do the same thing as you?
No.
Okay. So how did you guys end up meeting?
He didn't pass the test and things, and he is just a grunt.
Okay.
And he was sent to Japan.
So you guys just met because you're around here, or?
We lived within a block of each other, and from about the 4th, 5th grade on up, and went to school together and played together all the time. And then I couldn't get a job because I hadn't had military service. Nobody wanted to hire me because the time we train you, you'll be drafted. So I said, I might as well go in and get it over with. So I went and signed up in the Marine Corps and come back and told Kenny. He said, well, you're going, I'm going too. So he went the next day and signed up.
Okay.
And so we went to boot camp together, and then I got tonsillitis and was held back, so my orders didn't come in, and he went home for Christmas, and I didn't go home for like the first year. Never seen him again until we got out.
Okay.
And he went to Japan, and I went to the desert.
Did you guys maintain contact, or was it just luck of the draw? You guys both came home at the same time.
No, we didn't come home at the same time.
Okay.
But at one time, he was going to be. We were going to meet in L.A. and I rode my motorcycle down there, and he didn't show up. I don't know what happened. But my brother was in the Navy, and he was in San Francisco, so I went up one time and seen him and went on board his ship. He was on a seaplane tender, and spent the weekend with him. And that's the only time I got to see him while I was in service. And he got out about a year. He went in a year before I did, and got out a year before I did.
Were your parents able to come visit you?
No.
While you were on the service, or because obviously when you were in, it was a totally different time than when Brian was in, and then when we were in, it was completely different.
Well, I was making $72 a month, and it cost
$72 a month,
and it cost $101 round trip on a train to St. Louis and back.
Wow.
People said everything was cheaper back then. I said you didn't make anything either.
Yeah, it was cheaper back then, but $72 a month. I don't.
And we had to buy our own clothes. Mm-hmm. And they wasn't cheap.
I said we did too.
And
you could get beat.
Well, they got little threads showing why you had to go buy them. Couldn't wear them. And we had overcoat, raincoat with a zip-in liner made overcoat, and they was $100 some odd.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So 2.5 months work.
Right.
To be able to afford anything.
Yes, sir.
What kind of bills did you have back then?
Bills.
Obviously, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have internet, you didn't have cable bills.
And they paid us in cash.
Okay, so what kind of regular bills did people have back then?
If you lived on base, everything was paid for.
So car payments and.
Nobody had cars hardly.
Okay.
I couldn't afford them. I had a motorcycle.
All right.
It's cheaper than a car.
How much was your motorcycle back then?
I bought a 48 model Harley Davidson, and I paid, it was a 1948 model. I bought it in 53, and I paid $350 for it.
$350. That same bike today would be worth $350,000.
And I wrote it and burned a piston out on it. Took it to California to LA, and it cost me $250 to get it overhauled. And on the way back, the points closed on it, and the points came off.
All kinds of work on it.
And I did driving 150 miles back to the base.
So I remember growing up that they would always talk about you being a member of the Iron Butt Club. What's a rough rundown of that?
Well, that's just how far you ride a motorcycle in one day.
You guys hear that?
I had a English AJS single cylinder 500cc motorcycle, and in 1955 I took off from the base. I took leave and went up to Tacoma, Washington back. I drove 3,000 miles in 6 days, no interstate, 500 miles a day. Had a sleeping bag and just threw it down on the ground and went to sleep wherever it was at. I was at Mount Rainier and had a sleeping bag there and woke up, there's a deer straddle of me. And
About to get his breakfast.
and I just nuzzling because everybody's feeding them everything.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. It cost me $20 for gas and oil.
Wow.
Pretty good.
3,000 miles.
If you had to estimate,
It got 80 miles to the gallon.
if you had to estimate how many miles you put on a motorcycle, what kind of number would you put on it? Just a rough guess.
Oh,
More than a
probably
million.
150, 200,000.
Oh,
And on a car,
Easy.
I probably put $1 million
That's a lot.
or more. Because I bought a new truck in 2004. I put 216,000 miles on it. And then I had another car I put 100,000 on. So
Go sit down.
since 2004, I put about 750,000 miles on vehicles.
Go sit down. So you said 1 million miles on your vehicles. So I remember, obviously you got the tan truck. Why do I remember you having did you ever have a silver truck?
Yep.
Yeah, that was when I put 216,000.
And
Ford, wasn't it?
did you have a maroon one?
no, we had a green one. Remember the green one with the
I had
camper?
green and white.
Did Jeff have a maroon one?
He had a black one.
I remember somebody having a maroon one.
Charlie had a maroon van.
That's what we went to Pennsylvania in.
Yeah,
Remember?
had that nice maroon interior.
Uh-huh.
That's right, with the skylight and where you could lay up on top on
Right.
the second deck.
Remember me smacking you guys with an antenna? What,
I
telling you
remember
not?
getting smacked a lot. Yeah, I remember getting
We're going
smacked.
through the mountains, and I'm like, "Don't make me pull over!"
Yeah.
Whack, whack, whack.
Yep, I remember you went to Albuquerque with us and somebody ran a stoplight and about killed us, and I don't remember who was driving, but they jammed the brakes and we were all just stopped.
Super yucky.
Yeah. You gonna pull it? Oh, it broke. It broke.
I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah, building that house up there at the ranch, I put a lot of miles on them because 2 trips up there and back was 1,000 miles.
I bet.
And I went all the time. I hauled all the material up there, and so
So how
made a
much
lot
concrete
of
you haul up there?
trips. Hauled all the concrete, all the blocks, all the wood, everything.
So how'd you end up finding that place since we're on topic of the ranch? Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Well, I decided to invest in some property in New Mexico, and I got on the internet and looked around and went over to Comado, a real estate company, and talked to them, and they said, yeah, they had places up there, and there's 40 acres, $15,000, 40
Wow.
acres. And I said, well, I'm going back east on vacation. I said, when I come back, I want to go look. So when I got back, I called them, and they made an appointment with them, and they met them, and they took me down the road there, and had about 7 different places to look at, and we spent all day long. They had a sack lunch fixed for me, and we looked at everything. I said, no, I don't want it. At first, they told me this place said it's 40 acres. I said, no, I was wanting 80 acres. I said, no, I'm not interested in that. So we went on down and looked at 80 acres. Well, there was no road into it. You had to walk a quarter of a mile down the road to get to it, and then it's all mountain. And I said, no, not that. And then they took me other places, and I said, no, I wanted trees and rocks and this. And I didn't see it. We drove all day long, and then that night, that evening, I said, let's go by and look at the first place, and I'll look at it.
What are you after, Kevin? No, tell me, tell him.
Natural woods.
We're out of water.
Yeah. Kevin, there's still water on the counter.
There's some cheese dip. There's a watering fountain too.
Grandpa,
You have cups?
what was your
Those
favorite
look
thing
at
about
those
Grandpa?
look like the slippers at our house.